Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Built Structures video. I really didn't have any intentions of posting this video. It's a scratch build video, but after I read some of the comments in my last scratch build video, it appears that you guys like watching my scratch builds. So I'm going to do one of two builds on video. The reason why I'm doing these builds is to raise some money because at the end of June I would like to go to Kansas City to the National N-Scale Convention. The builds I'm doing are N-Scale at this point, but I will take orders for HO. What I have built is an engine house, 2-stall engine house, and a truck to train warehouse. I also am intending to expand my scratch building stuff by doing some loads for your flat cars. Anyhow, let's get on with this and I'll show you the reveals of both buildings and we'll go from there. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright guys, what you're looking at here is any one of my scratch builds that I do, I always do a drawing of it first. Just to make sure that everything is going to work out. For instance, the placement of the I-beams that I'm going to be using here, the placement of the windows, the size of the windows. I've also put the height up to the bottom of the truss, and these, like I said, are going to be plastic trusses. The doors will be 18 feet by 15 feet. The total width of the building is going to be 80 feet and the total height of the building is going to be 45 feet. This should be a pretty nice build when I get done with it, so we'll see what happens. So stay tuned and I will show you a mock-up of what I'm doing. Be back in a couple of minutes. Alright guys, here we are down at my work area, and as you can see I got a bunch of parts in front of me here. This is going to be the second build that I'm going to be doing. It's a little bit more detailed than the first build, so apparently, as you can see, because of the amount of material I need, the price is going to be a little more expensive. So we will start out with, I will be using this kit. This build will be entirely evergreen products, no for sale signs. Anyhow, 101 styrene strips and 102 styrene strips. Those will be used for door trim and so on and so forth. This 159 will be used for external mounting. As you guys know, when I do my scratch build, I usually put my supports to mount it to a base on the inside of the building. Well, these ones are going to be used on the outside of the building. It'll look like a concrete foundation when I get done with it. I don't want anything to obstruct the inside of the building. I will be using 274 I-beam. I will be using 294 angle. I will be using Plastruck trusses. Also I'll be using 30 thousandths plain styrene, and also I'll be using this sheet of styrene plastic, which is 12 inches by 24 inches. This is an expensive piece of material. It costs 20 bucks, but I found it more economical to buy it this way than to buy the small packs. Anyhow, what we're going to build on this one, on my first build, hold on, also I will be adding these Grant Line 40 pane windows. There'll be 6 of them in this building. Unfortunately, this tool right here, it's an awesome tool, but for N-scale, for the windows in N-scale, it's not going to work unless the windows are this size. The reason why is because in order for this tool to work, the first thing you need to do is drill a 3/8 inch hole. If I drill a 3/8 inch hole in an N-scale window, it'll be just too big of a window to be scale. Anyhow, we will be using this on this build, and I'll show you how it works. Anyhow, what we're going to build is an N scale 2-stall engine house. And put this away. Like I said, there'll be a little bit of work on the inside, as you can see. Let me see if I can get this around a little bit more. I'm going to put truss supports in there. Let me adjust this camera. Hold on, guys. Get you up a bit higher so I can see inside. Alright, there we go. It'll have trusses and I-beams on the interior. Also, on the front, there'll be 2 bays in, and on the back side, one of the front ones will be a drive-through, and that'll be back here. There'll be, like I said, there'll be 6 of these windows in here, a couple of people doors, 1 on each corner, or 1 on each wall anyhow. So anyhow, back here, there will be an office, so to speak. This is not the office that I'm going to use. I'm just using this to see how it would work out, you know, if it'll fit and everything like that. This one here, the roof will be removable, so you'll be able to see inside there. Anyhow, the I-beams will be supporting the trusses. And I guess that's about the overall view of this. This, of course, is just a mock-up. It's all cardboard. Not cardboard, but poster board. I always do mock-ups, as you guys know, just to make sure everything is going to fit. Anyhow, with all of that being said, I guess we'll start the build. I'm not going to do the entire build on video. I will show you as the progress goes along, and we'll take it from there. Anyhow, stay tuned and we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. Okay, now that you've seen how I start my builds by drawing on a piece of paper, the dimensions and all of that stuff, I transfer that onto my plastic. Now, if you're using a plastic with some sort of texture like a V-groove or metal siding, it's important to remember that when you draw out your side pieces, that you draw them upside down. If you don't draw them upside down, you're going to have 2 of the identical same walls, and your texture will be on the inside rather than the outside. I also leave a small space in between my cuts, so I'm sure that my cuts are exactly the measurements that I want. I did it here and here. The only place I'm not able to do it is on this wall here, because I'm making this building exactly 6 inches wide. Didn't mention in my previous, when I was showing you the drawings, that the drive-in doors will be 2-inch centers, and then the next step is going to be cutting all of this out. I also will be masking the spaces where the I-beams go, because as you know, glue don't stick very well to painted areas. So anyhow, let's get on with the rest of this, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, one thing I want to mention is that when I install the I-beams, you can see that I left one side unpainted, and that's the side that will go on the wall here. But when I get to the corner pieces, I don't have enough gluing surface in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of the stripping and I'm going to put it on the inside of here and fasten it to this, and then that'll give me a good gluing surface to the front and rear walls. I just wanted to bring that up because I've had problems before just trying to glue it on these edges. It just doesn't, there's just not enough gluing surface. So adding this little piece in here will give me the extra surface that I need, and of course I'll paint the edges where you won't be able to see these parts. So let's get on with the rest of this, and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, as you can see, I've got all my panels cut out. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut the windows and doors out, and then I'm going to prepare it for paint. Anyhow, I'm going to use this tool that someone was nice enough to send me, and I still don't know who that someone is. But anyhow, it comes from this company here in Las Vegas. I think it's Reese Enterprises or something like that. Anyhow, it's going to be pretty hard for me to use this for N scale because I have to use a 3/8 inch drill bit to start it. And the windows on N scale are a wee bit too small for this size drill bit. In fact, the windows I'm doing on this build right now is probably the smallest I can use this tool for. Anyhow, what it says to do is to drill a hole. And this is a practice piece that I've got here. I drilled a hole, and as you can see, it's like real close to the edges, and of course I didn't do any kind of centering in there, but this is what it looks like when it's done. Anyhow, the tool has this lock on here, and all you do is squeeze the handle and pull the lock off like that. This is the lock. And now when you open it, this piece at the top pops up, and you can see the groove inside of there that this has got to fit into. So now we'll take our plastic and we stick this up in here, and we'll just follow our lines. As you can see, it cuts pretty good. Just need to stay on your lines, and when you get done, you're going to have to sand it out. But anyhow, then I'll come down the middle here, and I'll take that out like that, and we'll turn it around. And get on my line. Good deal. And we'll chop this down a bit. And right on the line for that one. Now we can turn it around and just follow our line again. And make sure we get to our line. Alright, and one more time on this side. And we just need to get this guy out of here. And we turn around. Bam. And there you go. There's my cutout window. Like I said, there'll be very few N-scale builds that I can use this on, but my HO builds, because the windows will be a lot bigger, I will be able to use this tool. So whoever sent me this tool, I want to thank them, even though they're not owning up to it. I wish they would, so I could personally thank them. Anyhow, we'll get on with the build. I'm not going to cut the windows out on camera. I'm just going to cut them out, and then I'm going to tape these up where they're supposed to be taped up, and we'll start putting this thing together. So stay tuned, and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, I want to tell you that this tool definitely makes cutting windows out very easy. The only thing is, as you can see, the cut comes out pretty rough, but that's okay because I always make my holes smaller than what's supposed to be, and then I'll make it trim it out so the windows will fit in there. And then this here would be the finished product. As you can see, all the windows are in there. Still got to trim them out. I'm going to trim them both inside and outside. I don't know if you can see it, but I also have the people door cut out. And so we'll see. We'll carry on with this, and we'll move on to the next part of the video. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're back here at the 2-stall engine house project. I'm going to show you what I've accomplished so far. As you can see, I've got the outside painted. I painted it in a gray primer, and on the inside I used a beige color. Like I mentioned before, I got all the windows trimmed out. I also removed all the masking tape in preparation for putting on my my steel beams. Now, on the front and rear walls, if you can see this, I added the roll-up door garage roll-up door housings, and also again it's painted gray on the outside, and I will be putting the foundation around the entire building. And I also decided I'm going to put it on the inside also. Anyhow, here are my I-beams that I'm going to be using, and as I told you that I was going to add that piece in the back, so when I glue it to the surface it'll be okay. Now these I-beams, they will go directly onto the main walls like this. Of course, the ones that I want to pick up all have the other extra piece in it, but anyhow, it'll go like that. The exception will be that the corner ones will go on the front and back walls, and the reason for that is because when I build my models, I always put the front and rear wall to the inside of the main walls. So therefore, I will be putting these, the ones with the little spaces in the back, they will be going on this wall. So when I glue it up, we'll have the surface to do it there. Anyhow, we'll get on with the rest of this. I'll start gluing these in. This project is getting close to being finished. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this little how-to, how I build my buildings. And we'll see how it goes from here. So stay tuned, I will be back shortly. Alright guys, we're back here now, and we're going to start winding this build down a bit. As you can see, I've got my I-beams in. I have my windows permanently attached. I have my people door in there. And I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but the glazing is all in there. So, as you can see back here, I've already started assembly on it. So we got this wall and the front wall to put on, and we'll start doing the roof section. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're going to shift our attention to the roof on this project. What I'm going to do is a technique that I've used before, and it involves masking tape. Again, masking tape. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have a square to make sure that my tape goes down straight and square. So I went ahead and drew my first line, and all I need to do now is just tape this all up, and we'll see how that works out. So let's see how it goes. We'll start with the first piece, and we'll stick him right there on the line. I'll trim these up after I get it done, but in the meanwhile it'll kind of hold it down. But anyhow, I'm just going to continue this all the way up the roof. Oops, come back here. Alright, and we'll put the second piece down. Just like that. And we'll cut him off. Call me Butterfingers today. Anyhow, we'll just continue this all the way up until we get the whole thing covered. And then we'll do some painting on it, and then we'll do some what looks to be like tar lines. Alright, this is what the roof's going to look like when you get all the tape on there. I am going to now give it a little bit of a paint job. I will paint this black, and then after it's painted I'll do some weathering, and I might add some patchwork on here. Anyhow, stay tuned and we'll go ahead and paint this up and we'll see what it looks like when it's done. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright guys, as I mentioned when I did David Durbin's build, I am not a roofer, nor am I a contractor or any of those construction related jobs, but I do want to add some details to this roof. So what I did was I added what I would consider to be seam lines of a tar paper roof. So my next step is going to be I'm going to scribe each one of these lines to give it like it's been replaced, and then I'll go over it after it's painted. I will give it some like it's patched, you know, with some darker black. This roof is going to be black. Anyhow, let's get on with that and we'll see how it goes. So stay tuned and we'll get going on this. So what I'm going to do is just take my straight edge and I'm just going to give these a slight scribe. Seam lines, and now I'll go ahead out and to my garage and I'll go ahead and spray this with some flat black, and we'll see how it looks when I get back. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright guys, as you can see that I have already painted the roof black, and now what I'm doing is adding all the tar lines. I'm just using a very narrow pointed brush, and I'm using some black acrylic paint. I'm not going to bore you guys with showing you how to do this. It's pretty basic. Just follow the lines, you know. It doesn't have to be straight, because I don't ever think I've seen tar lines that are absolutely straight. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and we'll bring it back when I get it done. Be back shortly. Alright guys, what you're looking at here is the finished product of the roof. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but I did add a lot of the all your lines here for the tar seams and all that kind of good stuff. Anyhow, let me show you the next thing. We now have a freestanding building. Get this stuff out of the way. I added a couple of my trusses in there, as you can see, and I'll be adding the next two. But before I do that, I need to prepare the foundation. So here's the foundation. Let me get this out a little bit. As you can see, again, I put tape where I'm going to be gluing stuff down. And I know I said at the very beginning of this series that I was going to be all evergreen products, but I needed to make the foundation bigger than the building, so I had to use my for sale sign. Anyhow, we're getting really close to having this build finished. So the next time you see this, it'll be the reveal. So stay tuned and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, this is build number one. I'm calling it truck to train building. As you can see, it's got a little office in the front there, and I did the textured roof on there. Doors and windows have been installed. Still has a little bit more work to do. I need to put a door in there and some trim around the door. Little detailing on the roof. Two bays spaced at about 50 feet apart, so you'll be able to get two boxcars in there. And then we got the back end, which is your truck loading zone. And on the back side, there's really nothing back there. It's just a blank wall. Anyhow, I'll be doing some stills of this. Still got to do a little bit of weathering on the roof. I'll be doing some stills of this with some trains and a locomotive in there. So stay tuned and we'll show you number two. We'll be right back. Alright guys, this is the second build, the one that I did the video on. As you can see, it's all painted up. It's got my Vinny built stripe on there. This is the back side of it, I guess, since the office is on the other end. But as you can see, there's 2 in. And as you can look in the inside there, you see the trusses and the steel work that I did. And then we have the out right there. And there's your office. Windows and doors are in. These buildings, like I mentioned, are for me trying to raise some money. So I hope you guys might be interested. If you are, just leave a message or send me a personal message, or I'll leave my email address there. Anyhow, stay tuned and I will show you what else I have planned for my scratch builds. So we'll be right back. Alright guys and gals, welcome back to the next part of this video that I'm doing. I have decided to expand my scratch building and get into doing some detail stuff. So what you see in front of you right now are steel and pipe loads that I'm going to be doing. I'll see how they sell. Anyhow, we're going to start off with the end scale, and as you can see, I've got a 3-pack of culvert, a 1 culvert load, 1 9-pack of pipe, and 2 smaller pipe. These will all fit in a 50-foot flat car or bulkhead flat, or 61-foot bulkhead flat. Then we'll move down to the trusses. The trusses, you'll get 3 pieces. These are 40-foot and this is 45-foot. This one here is a bit taller than this one, so it's actually a different load. Then we'll move down to the steel, and the steel loads we have down here are actually 7 pieces. The steel columns are done as 1 unit, but these steel I-beams are separate. Each one of these has been separately strapped. I don't know if you can see the strap on there. So you can stack them either on top of each other or random loads or whatever you want to do. Now, you HO guys, I didn't forget about you guys either. At the top here, we have black pipe. Oops, sorry about that. Right here we have the black pipe. It is 44 feet. And then we have the culvert here, is 28 feet, 28 scale feet. Then we have a random stack of pipe right here, and then these 2 are 40-foot piece. The trusses for you guys in HO are 44 feet long, and again, this one here is a smaller load than this, so you could do 2 different loads. We get down to the steel load, and this is a steel load of 4 H-beams. As you can see, I've got them tied up, and this here is 1 unit. Then we have your steel columns in the front, which is also 1 unit. And then we have a couple of I-beams right here. These are the same size, just different lengths. Anyhow, I think the prices are reasonable. I don't know if you guys can see the prices, but I will put the prices when I do the upload for the video. Anyhow, stay tuned and we'll get back to the rest of this video. Be right back. Alright guys, what you're looking at here is some of the loads that I'm putting together. As you can see, I got one of the culverts in the gondola, and then my 61-foot bulkhead flats are carrying some of the loads, and you can also put these loads on your semi-flatbeds. Anyhow, price is right for these, and I don't see anybody who's making them, so if you guys are interested, also doing these in HO like I mentioned. So stay tuned and we'll get on with the rest of the video. We'll be right back.